Hello, Microbrand owners and watch fans. I hope this finds you well. Today, we are recording episode 3 of the Microbrand Marketing Podcast. And what I'm going to talk about today is how you can get up to $12,000 in sales without spending any money on marketing whatsoever. And we're going to do this through building a movement instead of a brand. Now, what exactly does that mean? Now, when I'm talking about movement, I'm not talking about the movement in your timepieces. Of course, we are talking about a movement in terms of something that people follow, people believe in, and people rapidly buy for. Now, what we want to talk about specifically in this broad topic is closed Facebook groups. Now, closed Facebook groups are a huge source for sales, and a lot of watch brands don't have a Facebook group and may have one but don't use it properly to get the sales that they desire. Now, the interesting thing is that I have a client, for example, who uses a closed Facebook group for the pieces that they sell, and they have around 500 to 600 members in this closed group. And anytime someone joins the group, they are welcomed by group owners and the brand owner every single week. They're tagged in a post, and the group self-populates by fellow watch owners from that brand, and they post wrist rolls, they post images of them out for dinner with their wife, with their new watch. And they absolutely love using the piece and they love posting it in this closed group. It's essentially a place where hardcore fans of your movement, your brand, can congregate and talk solely about the brand. Now, you're probably wondering what the key benefits of this are. And apart from sales, it's mainly community, enthusiasm for the brand, and it turns your customers into brand ambassadors. One thing that I find interesting is that whenever you post about your brand, or a client of mine posts about their brand in a group like the League of Microbrands on Facebook, anyone who is in this private group of the brand will comment, they'll like, they'll upvote those posts in the larger, more open microbrand discussion groups because they're such a huge fan of that brand. One case study I can give you is, for example, one of my clients released a watch and they released it for pre-order to the group a couple of days before they released it to public pre-order, and they saw around 15 sales. It was around $12,000 in sales just from that group alone. And those sales came in the space of 24 hours. Now, that is a crucial sum of money to get as pre-sales for your brand. It is money that you desperately need to see back if you've spent any money on marketing, if you spent any money at all on development of the piece prior to a Kickstarter campaign, for example. And it is a huge sum of money just to get for doing absolutely nothing. One thing that you want to look at, or one thing you may be worried about, is managing this group on Facebook. Now, one thing that is super interesting is that you actually don't have to manage this group. Now, once you start the group and you start posts, you start wrist roll Wednesdays or wrist roll Thursdays, and you start creating things on the group, once you have some members, they will run the group for you, okay? For example, there is some people in groups that I am in closed groups, hardcore fans of specific brands. They will just post themselves. Let's see what you're wearing today, guys. I'd really love to see what piece you've got from insert brand name here. What you're wearing today out and about. I'm wearing this piece. Here's a photo of it. And the comments will populate under that post of other people in the group. 10, 20 comments of what people are wearing from that brand. Now, the brilliant thing about this group is that, first of all, they will buy your pieces before you release them to the public. They're your number one fans. Second of all, they're going to fly your flag out there in the public domain. If anyone asks about what microbrand should I look, I'm looking for a diver, I'm looking for a compressor style diver, I'm looking for a field watch. These people that are in this closed group will immediately comment in the larger groups and recommend your brand. They will recommend your pieces because they feel like they're a part of a movement. When you let them in to exclusive things that you will post about in the group, such as the design process of your piece, you will let them have a say in the design of a case, the colorways that may be released. Not only does this give you invaluable customer data to make the right decisions for your brand and knowing what people will want, it's also going to let you get those people in and turn them into brand ambassadors, which is a huge thing for your microbrand. Now, You're probably wondering, what's the difference between something like a Facebook group and an email marketing campaign? If you've got really good email marketing, which I'm sure we can talk in depth about in another episode, but if your email marketing is on point, it is running really well, and you're trying to build a community through email marketing, you're probably wondering, what is the point in creating a closed Facebook group as well? It is just another thing to manage, it's another thing to take up time. Well, let me explain. If I am sitting at home one day and I receive a letter from someone in my mailbox, it holds absolutely no value in comparison to a closed group. And the reason for that is because a single letter, obviously, I'm talking about an email marketing newsletter here, it holds no weight in terms of community. There's not people commenting on that email. There's no flurry. There's no social proof. There's no excitement behind that email. It is you as the brand owner telling one person directly about the product and then sending that email en masse to 1,000, 2,000, up to 10, 15,000 people. Okay. When you're running a closed Facebook group, you are seeing a huge amount of people come into your brand and talk about the brand exclusively. Now, as I just said, the main benefit of this is direct sales from your top fans and brand ambassadors. However, I want you to think about the buying experience of a potential new customer. For example, when we run ads for clients who are microbrands that have a marketing budget to spend, when I run ads for these clients, we make sure to nurture the people that come in. We also manage email marketing. We tell them about the brand. So they'll enter an automated flow. They'll get emails about the brand. One thing that we are really careful to do is if the client has a closed Facebook group of their most hardcore fans, we will send out an email on day 7 of someone being subscribed to the email list. And we will say, hello, we just thought you'd like to know that you can join our closed Facebook group here, and then insert a hyperlink, click here, and it will take them to the group to apply to join. And if you join, you will be able to get exclusive discounts, 5 to 10% on our newest products, exclusive updates, early pre-order access before the general public, and the opportunity to be involved in the design process of our next pieces. Now, this is a huge thing. If someone is genuinely interested in your brand, they are absolutely going to join that group. And the brilliant thing is, once they join that group, you do not need to market to that person, because the minute they join, everyone is talking about your pieces within the group. Everyone is telling them what they should buy because they're posting wrist rolls, they're getting excited about new pieces that are coming up, and they know that they're in for an exclusive discount being part of this group. It is a brilliant way to get new customers from cold to warm and really interested and excited in buying from your brand. They are the key benefits of a Facebook group. Now, as I said, many of my clients have closed Facebook groups. It's a very common thing. And you're probably now thinking, okay, Jamie, this sounds great, but I would like to start my own Facebook group. However, no one's going to join. How are people going to join it without putting money behind marketing? Now, if you are starting a microbrand from the offset, if you're starting a Kickstarter, it's quite simple. You could turn this into a product, the Facebook group membership. Initially, you could say you're not opening the group to sort of public applicants for a while. However, anyone who buys this tier in the Kickstarter can get access to the Facebook group. So not only are you letting people in who support your Kickstarter, who are known fans of you, you are turning a closed Facebook group, which you can use for marketing, into a valued product that is seen as an additional bonus, another reason to buy something on Kickstarter. Okay. If you're a brand that has already sold pieces, you have a little bit of money to spend, and you therefore have a customer list on customer email list, what you have to do, very simply, as I just said, it doesn't have to be automated. Write an email newsletter. Write an email newsletter. Let people know about the brand and about the closed group and how it is now available, and you're taking applications for people to join. Now, the important thing when you're setting up this group, make sure it's a closed group and make sure there is rules. Facebook will guide you through this whole process when you go to set up a group, but make sure it's got rules and people have to apply to join, because it's very important. You don't want brand owners joining the group randomly. You don't want just people that unsavory people joining the group that you may not want as part of your community. Because although this is a vehicle for sales, ultimately, it is an amazing place to nurture your most loyal fans, to let them know that you value them and their support is really appreciated in the wider scope of your business. Now, send out that email, get people to join the group, and get some applicants. Now, the funny thing is, you do not need thousands of members to see any sales or see any benefit whatsoever from this group. In fact, if you stop thinking about the sales you could get from this group, think about the customer data you can get alone. It's really valuable to have an insight in what your number one fans think about the pieces that you sell. If you're designing a new piece, you can easily put out a post or a poll in the group and ask them for their honest opinions, and they will tell you. So once you get that first iteration design back from your manufacturer, post photos, post videos, post wrist rolls, ask them what they think of this new piece. If there is something that you may be missing, if you've spent months designing a piece, there's a lot of chance you are now jaded by it and you're unable to see some of the downsides. These people with a fresh pair of eyes will tell you exactly what you need to do to make that piece more applicable and more desirable to the people that you actually want to sell to, which is your number one fans. Now, once you do this, you'll get this insightful customer data and you'll be able to make changes to make your watches more desirable and therefore have a more successful launch when the new piece actually does drop or open for pre-order. Now, that essentially, my friends, is a very brief breakdown on Facebook groups and the value that they have within the community. Now, as I said, if you want to start your Facebook group, the two key ways: create it as a tier, a bonus on Kickstarter. Don't create it as a paid tier by itself because it does not have that much value to the person joining. You're seeing the value as an item within itself. However, if you do have an email marketing newsletter, an email list of, say, 100, 500, 1,000 people, send out an email and tell them the benefits of this group, that there'll be exclusive discounts, the opportunity to be involved in the design process, early order access, and maybe even exclusive products or watch straps that they can get when they're in this group. Really make sure they know it's an exclusive group for VIPs, hardcore supporters, to talk about this piece that they have just invested in. That is what you need to do. Now, once you do that, everything will naturally follow. If you have a group with high engagement, people are always posting about the group, about the pieces they're wearing, then I promise you everything else will start to fall into place. You can guarantee on some sales when you launch a new piece because people in that group will buy it. Even if it's 10%, if you have 1,000 people in the group, 10% buy it, that's 100 sales, okay? Even if it's a tiny amount, 5%, 50 sales, okay? You can see a huge amount of money come in initially before you start your marketing efforts, before you release the product to the public, right? That's the benefits of creating an amazing closed Facebook group for your brand. It is something that you really want to look into. I highly suggest that you start it now. Do not start a Facebook group once you've established as a brand. That is the wrong way to go about it. If you're thinking, oh, now's not the time, I've only sold 2 pieces, I've only got 100 customers, I don't think now's the time to start this group, you're completely wrong. A lot of people make the mistake of using their Facebook or Instagram page as a group until they feel like they have a big enough audience to warrant a closed group, right? The whole point of a closed group is it's a small, niche, and highly supportive group of people. So don't make the huge mistake of thinking your Instagram page for your business or the Facebook page for your business will play the role of the group until you are ready. That's called imposter syndrome. It's something that you don't want to fall into. It's a trap that many brand owners fall into. When brand owners speak to me on Zoom, we have a Zoom call, I always ask them about their closed group, and many of them will say, we've not started a closed group yet, we're just not ready. And I'll always ask them, okay, why are you not ready? And they'll explain, well, we've only sold 300 pieces. We're not quite established enough to have a Facebook group. And it confuses me because you've sold 300 pieces to people who love your watches, who have bought one, who are already asking about the next piece, the next iteration, and you're not allowing them to cultivate that enthusiasm in a closed Facebook group. Where are they going to cultivate the enthusiasm? Because they know that no one else is watching them. No one from their family is going to see them posting about this watch. It's a closed group. However, you're going to get a lot less organic engagement on Instagram, on Facebook, etc. That's the benefit of starting one of these groups. So today I leave you with this. Start a closed Facebook group. Do not hesitate. Start one right now, right after this podcast ends, right after the little outro music plays. Open a closed Facebook group. Send out an email to your most rabid supporters. You can even put it on your Instagram story. You can post the link to join the group. They can see it on the story. They can click. They can apply to join. And you could have 100, 200, even 50 members in your group by the end of the weekend. Okay, so get that done. I promise you, if you cultivate the group, if you stay active in it, you will see sales, you will see invaluable data and support for the pieces that you are designing. And on launch, you will see the difference. It's something less to worry about. If you know you're going to get that initial cash injection from pre orders of your biggest fans of your brand straight from the group, then you're a little bit more relaxed when you go to launch something. You're not so much worried about the financials from the first 10 minutes of launch, for example. The great thing is that anyone that pre-orders these items is then going to only add to the hype and the excitement of the public release. They're going to say, I got this early in the group, got my order locked in, really excited. And when people start to see that, they start to see FOMO, they feel the FOMO. They are worried that they're not going to get the piece, and it helps the public orders in general. So that essentially is a very brief breakdown of the benefits of starting a closed Facebook group and the sales that you can see as a result of it. I hope you can get this in play, and I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will speak to you next week. If you have anything you want to hear from me, anything you want me to talk about, any topic that involves marketing your watch brand, let me know, because I have years experience in doing so for a huge plethora of microbrands. And this is my full-time job. So let me know what you need help with. I'd be more than happy to help. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will speak to you next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.